Yes, it's a video by Chase Nigel.
Unless it is your fault, then you're going to be banged to rights on your own evidence. But yes, as you can clearly see, the daylight has gone, and I am here at P&HQ at night time. This is something that's likely to happen quite a bit more often. I can make it a little bit less nighttime though, at least in here. There's a couple of reasons for this. One of them is that the nights are drawing in. It's not going to be long before the clocks all change. What do? They go back, don't they? Yeah, they go back. So suddenly you find yourself in the night time when it should be the daytime. And that's depressing and that's annoying. But that's not relevant. Well, it is actually, because it's what I'm talking about right now. You have the choice of at least being able to be down here during the daytime. And that is an option that currently I'm not having a great deal of. Because currently I am taking on a responsibility that's far more important than what goes down here at P&HQ. Much more important, and that is home education. That's 3 days currently. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, completely written off. Leaving me only 4 days, 2 of them at the weekend, which are no good. Monday and Tuesday, which are bound to be raining, because that's what's been happening so far. That makes things a bit tricky, doesn't it? Yes, it does. But I'm not complaining, because complaining only makes people complain that I'm complaining. And I really don't want people complaining about me complaining. I'd rather you be happy that I'm complaining rather than complain that I'm complaining, to be Frankie. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Frankie, where am I going with this? I mean, come on. What is the point of this video? Well, there is a big point. Trust me, there's a big point to this. There we go, we have a light. This car here, this car called Nigel, the car that is known the channel throughout, has been where it all started. Oh bollocks, oh dear, look at it, look at it. We can't drive that, I can't drive it. Look at that new disc on there, that doesn't look particularly new at the moment because it's covered in rust. Not particularly well protected by the missing wheel. It's not missing, it's just there. There's a video that should have come out by now on this particular car, which would have been called, oh balls, looks like my clutch release bearing has gone tits up. Better get it fixed. And with that, very, very friendly Greg Elgood sent me this particular thing. Oh, I have a sponsor, which is GE Automotive, Gregory Elgood in Norfolk. Yes, so here we have a nice big box full of things. Come on.
This is an entirely separate video, so you'll see that somewhere else.
And I was anticipating just getting it done in a couple of days, but guess what happened? Obviously, not being here, I can't do it. When I was here, it was raining. I probably established this as being a bit of an issue. So that means that over a week, that car has been stood on 3 wheels. So the unfortunate effect of this scenario is, of course, not being down here very much, not getting jobs done, and not making videos as well, because my videos are primarily based around the things that I do in the yard. I can't really do that if I'm not in the yard. And I did think originally, well, that's fine, because I'm not committed to being at home all day. You know, at some point I can just go. But as today's proven, and many other days, by the time I'm properly freed up to actually go, it's already 9 o'clock. And at that point, can you really be bothered? And the answer is no, not really. Especially when it's already been dark for a while. Yet again, I feel like my attention has wandered off without permission into something completely irrelevant. But what I've tried to do more recently is make my videos more relevant, so they're less darting from one thing to another and being contained. And that's why sometimes they can end up been weeks and weeks to record whilst to try and get a job finished. I thought that was a really good idea doing that, but I'm not going to be able to do too much of it for a little while. I'm going to have to go back to my old ways of just popping down here, doing some sort of job, making a video that might only be 4 or 5 minutes long, and then jeffing back off again. But I don't really want to do that. Notice parked here is Dr. Meldrew. This car has had work done on it. I've videoed the work. But what this car's never had has been me dabbling at all with the paintwork. This must be the first car that actually I really like where I haven't even done that. I washed it once. I had a go of getting rid of some of the cruddy stuff on the alloy wheels, and then I didn't really even bother worrying about it too much. It's a car to use. My friend Johnny described it as a forever car because potentially it could last forever. I could be gone before this car. You could do that with any car, but not one that you can use every day. This has that potential. And yet again, it might sound just a little bit like I'm going ever so slightly off topic, but actually I'm not. Stick with it, you'll soon find out. It's a weird one actually with Dr. Meldrew because it's got just a few scars, a few battle scars. Normally it's the kind of thing I would have been tackling straight away, trying to get rid of scratches, getting it to bead up properly when it rains. I haven't even done that. I've been happy to drive it around with marks all over the paint, with these bits of rubber things stuck on the edges of the door. You know those things usually with the reflector on that are put there by people who don't know how far to open the door before they clatter something. Yeah, they put them on so it causes minimal damage, or at least less damage to their own car, and the actual things have peeled off at some point, leaving the rubber behind. I haven't even got rid of that. Not got rid of marks, scratches, scuffy stuff all over the wheels, none of it. I haven't even vacuumed it out. That is a first for me. It's absolutely liberating. I've had this kind of thing before where I have a car that I just don't really worry about too much. And it's the same with this.
This is the really serious part of the video with its dark imagery. Don't worry, it won't last long.
This is a dad car, that's what it is. It's full of stuff I've not really worried too much about with it getting cleaned out, so there's bits of wrappers inside. Not crisps, blimey, that's not going to happen. I won't have crisps eaten in the car. When you start to drop crisps everywhere, you end up with a really rancid, foul smelling piece of shite that you really would not want to be in, ever. Or spilt milk. Ugh! I'm starting to not worry. You know, I'll park away from other people as and when I can, just because people are. It's not so much I'm worried about the scratches or the dents. It's just the disrespect. I just don't like being around disrespect. However, saying that, if I came back to it one day, having parked in Sainsbury's, where I never go to, and found a scratch or a dent, I don't think I'd be worried. I think it's got a few already. Not really too arsed. This is a good car without having to look like a good car. And I'm not used to that. I'm used to a car that looks like a good car and is kind of a good car, but it's only really a good car because it's looked after. A good car, a nice car is a car that's looked after, cherished. I really am going on here, aren't I? But stick with it, I'll get to the point. Just the other day, I saw someone parking a Mercedes Sprinter van, a long wheelbase thing, you know, in front of my car. And he popped onto the road and started backing up. And I thought, I'll keep my eye on this guy. And guess what? Guess what he did? He backed right into it. He backed into it. It just, probably not very fast, but it shunted it back a good 8 inches, I would say. And so I went out there, see if there's any damage. Now the chap in the van was just going to drive off. He obviously knew he'd crashed into something. And I knocked on the window and said, you just backed into my car. And he went, he just sort of did that. And he came out, looked around the back and said, oh, well, there's no damage. That's what you call disrespect. As it goes, there weren't any damage. But I did open the bonnet up just to check that there wasn't something gone underneath that had caused a problem. Because knocking it back that far, I was expecting to find something. But yeah, the fact is, it was so disrespectful. He didn't say sorry. He didn't do any of that. He just said, oh, well, there's no damage. And he didn't actually look properly. I don't want my channel to be just come one of those places where all I do is waffle on about stuff. But I do want to keep you informed, you see? And to keep you informed might mean just a little bit of waffling here and there. We'll get to the point in just a moment. And now at 10:15, I probably should just head on back home again and go and edit this video I forgot to make. Oh, hang on. Wait. There is something, isn't there? There may be a few more gaps for a while whilst I readjust to having a very different way of making videos and being down here, etc. I may just ask you to have some patience, but I'm also going to ask you for something else, and that is I need more cars to review. If you've got a car and you're local to me and I haven't driven it, I promise I'll look after it, I'll be respectful. Because car reviews, they may not be for everybody, but they always get views. Unlike dashcam reviews, they get there eventually. Some may only just tick over 1,000 views. Others go way beyond that and serve me very well. And it's because that's the kind of thing that people search for. Whereas it's not very often you'll have somebody searching for hairy lunatic messes with her car in a lockup and gets it all wrong and gets frustrated and comes up with a whole load of weird and banal analogies. Nobody really searches for that. Perhaps they should start. The other thing is worthwhile remembering that I have quite a large back catalogue. 1,600 videos on this channel. 1,600 at least. It's 1,600 and something. They all have me in there doing this kind of thing. So, should you find yourself wanting to watch some of my videos, because I haven't done one for a while, please, just go ahead. It's got to be more entertaining than some of the stuff out there, and it would do the channel a whole load of good. I was watching a thing just the other day about how when people discover a channel and end up binge watching the old stuff, it really does help it out. The algorithm goes, are we missing out? Something good here? Is something actually going on that's worthwhile right under our noses? And then suddenly, that's where a channel can be broken. And let's be honest, if this channel were to break in that way, it would please me immensely, I can tell you, Captain. No matter whether there are jobs oh Jesus, that is a bit special. That's another one. Unbelievable. What an absolute tool. Regardless of the fact that Nigel has a job I need to do, I have a car that I need to do the head gasket on, I have a car that needs to come apart, I have a car that potentially may just get scrapped, I have more jobs to do on this one, I have all sorts of things that could go on. A lot of it can't happen just now. So, would you like your car on video? Yes. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for watching it all the way to the bitter end. I know it's been difficult. Thank you for being a channel member. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for leaving 2 comments. Thank you for disliking. I don't care. You know, any reaction's a good reaction. Bye-bye.